Well, hello and welcome to the Informed Traveler Podcast, a weekly travel podcast where our goal is to help you become a more informed traveler. I'm your host, Randy Sharman. One of the great things about travel is trying new things and enjoying new experiences, and that includes food. But there are a few things you should be aware of before you take that first bite, and a few things you should just avoid altogether. So, in a few seconds, travel expert Onanda Forbes will join me to talk about food safety while traveling. And then travel writer Deborah Smith will be here to share her latest stay at the Auberge Saint-Antoine, a UNESCO World Heritage Site located in the heart of historic Quebec City overlooking the St. Lawrence River. The hotel offers breathtaking views and is ideally situated just steps from the city's most popular tourist sites. So we'll find out more from Deborah about that later in the podcast. But first, let's kick things off chatting with travel expert Onanda Forbes, who joins us each week to discuss some of the travel news and travel trends. You can follow her adventures on Instagram, Facebook, and X at Onanda Forbes. OnandaForbes.com is her website. Hi, Onanda.
Hi, Randy. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. We're going to talk about food, something that I think all of us like to certain degrees. Some like it more than others. Some call themselves...
love food.
Well, it's kind of a necessity. You kind of...
Yeah.
Who doesn't like food? We all know what we like. Put it that way.
Yes.
Right? So we're not all the same. And interesting article from Christopher Elliott. He's a consumer and travel advocate. I get his newsletter and his one of his latest newsletters talking about don't eat this on vacation, warning. And he goes through some lists of things that you should be aware of. So it was interesting. I thought it might be interesting that we talk about that. Have you ever run into circumstances on holidays where you're kind of not sure if I should be trying this, or you did try it and it wasn't a good result?
Yes, actually I did. It was last Christmas. I was in Antigua, and the food there, we're at an all-inclusive resort, 4.5 star. Nothing that I thought was awry. Straightforward, having some food. But then later that night, it hit me where I did have some issues, and it lasted throughout the next day where I couldn't leave my bed, couldn't enjoy that beautiful sunshine outside. So yeah, it does happen. And, when you're traveling to a place that's new to you, there's germs that your body isn't used to, or just something's happening that you just don't know what caused it, in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and it's happened to me too, and in Venezuela. And I knew I shouldn't have done this, but there was a vendor on the beach selling fish and cooked. It was cooked fish, wasn't raw fish, but yeah, same sort of circumstance. But so yeah, it once it happens to you, then you kind of learn your lesson a bit. But it's something that you don't want to happen, and I know when I interview a lot of people about destinations, one thing I always ask is, what's a local food you have to try, kind of thing, because that's part of the fun of traveling, is trying different dishes, local foods, that kind of thing. But you do have to be aware.
Absolutely. And one of the biggest things that I even have this when I'm at home, but when I travel, I always have hand sanitizer. So if you always wash your hands before eating or preparing food, if you say you're doing a rental or whatever. It's important to, after you use the bathroom, maybe you have kids and you're changing diapers or having contact with animals or sick people. So I think that's hugely important. And if you don't have soap and water, use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. It's always to keep some with you when you travel. And especially after COVID, I think that, or even before COVID, people are just really conscious of contact.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, in, again, Christopher Elliott's newsletter, Elliott Confidential, he talks about, gives you some things, what you shouldn't eat when you travel, and he pretty much covers everything, so you kind of have to pick and choose. But the first one he says is raw or undercooked meat and seafood. I am not a huge seafood lover, so this really isn't a problem with me. But some people are, and this is the number one on the list.
Right. So that includes meats, fish, as you say, including shellfish. And if you can, boil it, cook it, peel it, or then leave it, because those are your four options. Because you never know what's happening with regards to how it's prepared or not prepared. And then and also another good tip is eat fruits and vegetables if you've washed them in safe water or peel them yourself. Consider, like, everybody wants to be healthy and they enjoy salads, right? But sometimes you might have to avoid salads or other items that are made with fresh produce. I know one of the things I enjoy when I'm away is a cocktail. And sometimes the ice, like, you might have to be very mindful of ice that's in your cocktail or in your drinks. It doesn't even have to be a cocktail. It could be a Coke or water or whatever the case may be. So be mindful of the ice as well. And with regards to food, making sure that they're well cooked, that they are served hot, avoid foods that are served at room temperature. And sometimes, at all-inclusive buffets are pretty handy or available. And that could be a breeding ground for bacteria, especially if they've been sitting out in lukewarm temperatures. So that might be a red flag for you as well.
Well, yeah, and different countries have different preparation standards, and so we're not really picking on any destination, because they all have different standards, different things, and again, it's just being aware. Street food is a big one. Like I said, my incident happened, and I'll call it street food, was on the beach, because you're never sure the preparation behind it, the sanitary standards in how it was presented and cooked, and those types of things, right?
Right, absolutely. And so with regards to, water in general. So drink water only if it's been boiled or disinfected or in a commercially sealed bottle. And then, as I said, with the ice, make sure ask if you could, that it's made from purified or disinfected water. And then for like commercially sealed beverages in cans and bottles, that they're served unopened, such as carbonated drinks and drinks made with boiled water, and served steaming hot, such as coffee and tea, are generally safe. Another thing you might want to consider is when you brush your teeth with purified or bottled water. That might help you as well. And then avoid unpasteurized dairy products and fruit juices. So lots to consider, I think at the end of the day, though, that advice will go a long way.
Yeah, exactly. It used to be the old joke, you talk about water. Don't drink the water when going to Mexico, but their standards have come up quite a bit. So I don't think that's the issue as much as it used to be. Again, it depends on where you're going. The last one that we didn't mention was dairy, in hot climates. Again, it goes back to my comment about preparation standards and storage standards. If cheese and yogurt and milk have been out in the hot sun or not cooled properly, that can be a problem.
Right, absolutely. And you have to also thinking it's not just consuming food and drinks. It may be even while you're swimming or bathing, because water may look clean, but it's still polluted or contaminated. So you can get sick if you inhale or swallow it while bathing or showering or swimming. And, you should try and avoid getting water in your mouth or your nose when swimming or participating in activities like in fresh water, like streams or canals or lakes, or even water in pools or hot tubs, which may not be adequately treated. So, again, things to look out for, but you don't want to get, paranoid about traveling, because it's still a fun activity and you still should enjoy it, but you just have to be aware.
That's I couldn't say it any better. Yeah, the whole joy of traveling is trying things new and experiencing new things. But yeah, just be aware and make sure that you're doing it safely. That's all.
Right. And, all this great advice may come at too late. And so how can you say no to the allure of space cake, which I think in Amsterdam, I think one of the authors of this article had said that they tried in Amsterdam. or resist the smells like you did of spicy or just yummy street food. So let's assume you've eaten something you shouldn't have. Don't panic. Drink lots of water. Dehydration is probably the biggest risk with foodborne illnesses.
Mhm.
Bottled or filtered water, not tap water, is recommended. And if your symptoms persist more than 48 hours and include severe dehydration, high fever, seek medical attention. Don't wait until it's an emergency. And then, as we always say, always remember to get travel insurance before you leave, because that will help you if you do have to go to a doctor
Mhm.
or a hospital.
Very good points. And we've got to thank Christopher Elliott again. Elliott Confidential is the newsletter. ElliottConfidential.com, by the way, if you want to sign up for his newsletter. It's pretty good. He gets some pretty good tips in there. And Onanta Forbes has her website, OnantaForbes.com. You can follow her as well on Instagram, Facebook, and X at Onanta Forbes. Good stuff, Onanta. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good week.
This is the Informed Traveler Podcast. I'm Randy Sharman. Just want to remind you of our website, theinformedtraveler.org. That's where you can find our contact page if you have any questions or comments about the podcast. You can also email me too with any questions you might have. My email address is randy@theinformedtraveler.org. And if you want to get up-to-date travel info through the week or just see a few amusing travel stories and links, you can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/informedtraveler, on Instagram at informedtraveler, or on X at Informed Traveler. Plus, you can now sign up for our monthly newsletter. It's released at the beginning of every month. Our August issue is now available. Just go to our website, theinformedtraveler.org, click on the newsletter button. It'll take you right there, or you can subscribe to it and have it arrive in your inbox each month. Let's talk about traveling to Quebec City now, which is what travel writer and photographer Deborah Smith did recently, staying at the Auberge Saint-Antoine, a UNESCO World Heritage Site located in the heart of historic Quebec City. And Deborah joins us now to share her experience. Her website is wheretolady.com. You can also follow her on Instagram at wheretolady. Hi, Deborah.
How are you doing, Randy?
I'm well, thank you. I have to say, we're going to talk about the Auberge Saint-Antoine. I hope I said that correctly. I'm sure that when people say it with a French accent, it comes out a lot smoother. but it's in Quebec City. I love Quebec City. I love it for all its history. I love the old part of the city, the cobblestone streets. It's absolutely amazing. And it looks like the Auberge Saint-Antoine kind of fits the bill if you're looking for a little bit of history and going back into time.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of history. I think it would tick all the boxes there, including the cobblestone streets. It's on a very narrow historic street, right down in the old port area of Quebec City. And the building itself, I can talk about that a bit. It's actually about 300 years old. And it was originally used as a cannon battery. It's been used as a warehouse. It was originally owned by a fur trader. So the building itself has a lot of history. It's been owned by the Price family. So it's individually owned and operated by the family. And they've been in Quebec City for over 200 years, originally from Wales.
Wow.
Yeah. And so the great-great-great-grandfather Price was in the logging, came over to do logging, wound up in the logging industry. And so they've been there for 6 generations, and they originally opened the hotel in 1992.
Like when you talk about history in Quebec City, if you're wandering around the old part of the city there, like there's buildings there, and they'll have a little plaque on there saying when it was built, and a lot of them go back to the 1700s. So yeah, it truly is an amazing thing. So how many nights were you there, and what did you like about it?
Well, we just were there for one night, but it was memorable. It's a wonderful building. Just speaking of the history, it's actually a Relais and Chateau hotel, and it's a museum hotel. So when they were building the hotel, they worked very closely with the Museum of Civilization, which is right around the corner, and they kept thousands and thousands of artifacts. And now, throughout the hotel, these artifacts are sensitively displayed on all the floors, and it's the most fascinating thing. They have them in not glass cases, but they're actually embedded right into the wall with a glass cover. And so you can see all these eyeglass spectacles, pieces of pottery, and each room, well, I shouldn't say that not each room, but each suite has an artifact
Mm-hmm.
that's associated with it. So ours actually wound
Nice.
up being a glass bottle stopper, which was really cute.
It doesn't sound like it's a huge hotel.
Well, actually, there's 95 rooms in the hotel. The interesting thing, of course, is that each one of those 95 rooms is completely unique and decorated, and each one is completely different. And
Mm-hmm.
they all have historical touches. Some tend towards the rustic, I would say, but the majority of them fall somewhere between historic and contemporary. And then there is one or two that are like very contemporary rooms. But that being said, they've all been done to an incredibly high standard. So you'll find all the modern conveniences that you're looking for, USB outlets and all that, heated floors, all those
Mm-hmm.
kinds of nice things in every room.
Yeah, people like history, but they still like the modern touches too, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And they just do that perfectly.
So what do they offer as far as amenities, those types of things?
Well, they have two really very nice dining experiences. The first one is their bar artifact. I'll talk about that. When you enter the hotel, just off the lobby to the left, you'll see it right there. And it's a casual bar, very nice, also contemporary, wonderful design, beautiful bits of nature being brought in there. I could talk a bit about their light fixtures that look like tree branches with little birds on them, things of that nature. And in there as well, harkening back again to the history, they have a larger display, and in there you can see one of the cannons that they found, a very small cannon,
Oh,
which has
cool.
actually been mounted into the wall. It's really interesting. It's wonderful, and huge swags of velvet curtains in some of the lunch areas. It's really a nice place to go for lunch or in the evening for a drink. Now
Mm-hmm.
their dining room is called Chez Muffy, and it is stunningly beautiful. Again, the old exposed timbers, so it's got a really old Quebec feel about it, but it has a lovely terrace as well, and that's where we had dinner. The chef's tasting menu is just wonderful, and you can sit there and watch the St. Lawrence and enjoy your meal with a nice glass of wine. It's beautiful.
I am looking on the Auberge Saint-Antoine website. It's saint-antoine.com. And it says on there, you're talking about the St. Lawrence, the views of the St. Lawrence. Talk about a little bit of just the neighborhood and some of the views as well.
Oh, right. Well, you're right downtown in the old city of Quebec. You're steps away from the river, where there's a beautiful park. You're also just steps away too from where the boats leave. They have riverboat cruises up and down the St. Lawrence, which people might be interested in. You're right around the corner
Mm-hmm.
from that, which is wonderful. A few more steps, and you're at right in the heart of Old Town with their chocolate shops and maple syrup shops and all the wonderful things that you've come to expect from Quebec City. And not too far from the funicular, which is the little train the pedestrian train that takes you up to the top where the Chateau Frontenac is, so that you're overlooking the river there.
Mm-hmm.
And so very, very, you couldn't have a better location. It's
Oh,
really
yeah.
handy to everything. It really
How's your
does.
French, by the way?
Oh, terrible. It's high school French, but I must say everyone there is so kind, and they do appreciate always a greeting, bonjour, hi,
Mm-hmm.
say hello,
Mm-hmm.
and just do your best, and they'll immediately, at least in Quebec City, switch into English as soon as they know that that you're not fluent. But Yeah. Yeah. High school French will take you a long way.
C'est bon.
Yes. Oui. One of the things they offer, which is quite unique, is that they have a collaboration with Volvo. So while you're staying there, they'll let you take a complimentary ride in this luxurious SUV with a panoramic roof, and it's all on the house, as it were. And you can take it out and take a little drive around, maybe go over to Ile d'Orléans, where they have their garden. They have a garden that supplies the restaurant, so things couldn't be fresher. But, that's kind of a fun thing to do. And you can just, as far as parking, you're just going to valet park your car with them because, as I said, it's a very narrow road. There's no parking there. You just drop off your bags and they take care of your car and away it goes until you leave it again.
Anything else you want to add about it? Or Quebec City in general?
Oh, Quebec City. Well, I'm with you there. I love it. I think it's beautiful. I'd go back in a heartbeat. I think really one of the nicest times to go there, which is last year I was there as well, is in the fall. And one of the things the hotel does offer is that they have a package where you have an overnight stay, you have your breakfast is included, a dinner is included, and in a nice suite, and the prices are quite reasonable. So if you're looking for a really nice weekend getaway in the fall to see those gorgeous fall colors when all the leaves change out there, I could highly recommend Auberge Saint-Antoine for that.
It is truly spectacular if you're flying into Quebec City in the fall and all the colors from the trees down below. It's really amazing. So it's an amazing sight to see. So you are correct. People can check out your Instagram page at Where2Lady, your website, where2lady.com. Deborah Smith is a travel writer and photographer. Really do appreciate your time, Deborah. Thank you.
Oh, lovely chatting with you.
And that is our show for this week. If you have comments or questions, we'd love to hear from you. If you have a show idea, send that along as well. My email is randy@theinformedtraveler.org. And if you like what you heard, tell a friend. You can check out our website too at theinformedtraveler.org. In the meantime, thanks for listening, travel safe, and be an informed traveler.